America, a decent place to live, inhabited with some intensely stupid citizens. Citizens we call Americans. Someone needs to educate these people, help these people, and if you American't or don't marijuana, then through the amazing superpower of common sense, Phoenix West Amera will.
Hello citizens, I'm Phoenix West from Loading Wonderland. Welcome to Americant. Now this episode's a little different. It's split into two parts. One episode for the red, one episode for the blue. This is the color that you're watching right now though. So if you want to watch the other one, feel free to switch over right now, because from here on out, it gets really fucking weird. You've been warned.
Hello world from LIW News. I'm Miguel Brambila, welcoming you back to the 2016 Stereotype presidential debate. Here to answer the burning questions, we have Democratic Senator Blue and Republican Governor Red. One of these men will rule over you for the next 4 years. So let's get to know them a little bit better. Starting with Governor Red, how do you see women in the workplace?
Well, I'm a reasonable man, so I'll work with any broad as long as I'm working in a kitchen or, say, buying sex.
Wow.
Crude. Instead of women, can you say non-men? And instead of workplace, creation station?
I'm not calling it that.
At any rate, I love a diversified creation station.
While we're on this subject, in terms of women's rights, how do you feel about a woman facing an unwanted pregnancy?
Well, human life doesn't begin until birth, so it's up to the non-man to terminate anything non-living inside of it. Oh, you son of a bitch! That child has just as much right of as lives you do. Killing that child means it'll never grow up to be a soldier to die courageously in a war.
How noble. Speaking of war, how would you address the growing tension in the Middle East?
We should be sending them fruit baskets instead of bombs, because we're only creating more terrorists.
Wonderful. Lots of Americans are upset with the abuse in the welfare system and would like applicants to be drug tested before being approved. What are your thoughts?
None of this would matter if we legalized marijuana in the first place, but at any rate, who are we to take food away from those kids just because the parents want to partake? Are you serious? That family should get to work to pay for their own stuff. We don't need any more meth heads leeching off the government. That's why this country's falling apart. So you want to take food away from those kids? Once they're born, they're on their own. I only care about people before they're born, and once they hit 18, it can serve. It seems to me that taking food away from children isn't in our best interest.
Seems to me that the real issue should be that a drug addict actually has a child. But anyway, what would your policy on illegal immigration be?
My policy would be no. We're all from somewhere else, so let's not forget about the Native Americans we slaughtered when we arrived here. The way I see it, we were all immigrants at some point.
Governor Red, a rebuttal?
No immigrants.
How do you suppose we enact such a stance, Governor?
We'll build a wall, a 200-foot wall. You can tunnel under a wall. 200-foot deep wall underneath a 200-foot tall wall. A subterranean nightmare. It'll be made out of iron and freedom and walls. A 400-foot wall made of other walls.
A wall made of other walls?
That's insane. The whole idea of fences and borders is insane to me. We all just need to have our own land, grow our own food, and help each other out. What happens when some immigrant comes to take your farm? Well, I'll invite them to live on the farm, and we can start a little community. And if they don't want to work on the farm, we can find some sort of other task for them to do to pay for their food. And we'll pool all of our resources together, and then we can trade with other communities for supplies we don't have.
You just described every city ever. We'll be right back to continue with this pointless bickering.
Who doesn't love a good battle? David and Goliath, Lakers and Celtics, Ali Frazier, Cowboys Indians, good versus evil. But the biggest versus facing the American citizens today is red versus blue, Republicans versus Democrats, right versus left. Now this battle is creating a chasm that grows wider and deeper every single day. And as the citizens cling tighter to the political labels, they grow further away from the center and therefore further away from the other group. Now this equates to nothing more than a political tug-of-war with a rubber rope in which both sides are getting heavier and stupider the further they get away from the center. And that chasm in the center, that's the middle ground. That's where solutions can be found. Now, nothing is as black and white as these two groups make everything appear, but the problem with this whole thing is that the people who make the decisions about the tug-of-war game aren't even on a side. They're up in the rafters, tossing out stakes further and further to each side, so that this war keeps on raging. Now, why would they want this war? Well, it's simple. When the citizens are divided amongst themselves, they see the other group and only the other group as the enemy. They squabble about abortion, capital punishment, censorship, government assistance, gay marriage, drug legalization. Shit that should already be taken care of if the citizens themselves were truly in charge of their own government, like in a real democracy. This chasm is created and fueled so that you are distracted. Distracted enough so you see the people on the other side of the chasm as the only enemy. The chasm is created so you don't see the goddamn people hiding in the rafters.
Hey bros, my cousin Derek told me about this killer album. All the proceeds go toward a great cause. It's a compilation album, which is awesome because it means everyone's working together and stuff. Check out Loitering Wonderland's first compilation, benefit album to raise awareness and seek aid for a fundraiser to further understand the assistance we help achieve through relief, cooperation, and community care. It's a 22-track album made with your unique interest in mind. Since every person is so special and different, you deserve your own song. Speaking of things you deserve, you've officially watched 20 seconds of this infomercial, so hey, here's a participation medal. Some of the tracks on this album include Pabst Blue Ribbon is So Bad It's Good by Thistlebaum, Beards Are Like Sweater Vests for Your Face by The Blooming Onions, Don't Stop Believing by Journey, ironically, Tattoos, Tobacco, and Talking Sociology 101 by everyone at every coffee shop ever, Tears of the Crown by Beating Your Meat is Murder, Everyone Who Disagrees is Hitler by The Internets, Censorship is Evil, but here's a list of words not to say or even think, otherwise you're Hitler, also by The Internets, with special guest PC Society, and many more. That was such a long list of song titles, here's another reward. To order, send 99 cents per song to loiteringwonderland@gmail.com, or just download the album off Pirate Bay, which is obviously the better choice, because music should be about the experience, and not about lining the pockets of some rich CEO that took money from his artists a long time ago, money that was originally from their album sales, which you're refusing to pay for, so you're basically just cutting the artist out of the money loop during your battle against the face of CEO. Fight on! We know that you were into this compilation album before it was cool, and maybe having second thoughts, but keep in mind that now that this album is cool, it's officially become uncool, and is now in the ironic to buy because it's popular in shitty category, so buy a copy today! Buying the digital copy too corporate for you? Well, the LIW compilation album is also available in the less convenient CD packaging. Still not ironic enough for you? How about the cassette, vinyl record, fucking 8-track cartridge to ensure that merely listening to this album is a complete and utter hassle to even yourself? You sure do hate yourself, apparently. There's also a secret hidden song where some guy whines into a microphone and says things that aren't words while the band noodles around on their instruments. Buy now! Regardless of your purchase, here's a trophy just for watching this commercial. Congratulations. Buy now! Then buy 1,000 other copies because some people can't afford to buy their own copy, and taking care of literally every man, woman, and child is your plight, regardless of lack of plan or reasonable way to accomplish it.
We're live.
Welcome back to the 2016 Stereotype presidential debate between Republican Governor Red and Democratic Senator Blue. I'm Miguel Brambila with LIW News. Governor, sir, would you please tell America, what are your viewpoints on taxes?
No more taxes. I hate paying them and I won't force anyone else to.
How are you going to pay for everything then?
Make Wall Street or China or we'll nuke them.
Not sure that's how it works. Senator Blue, a rebuttal?
Oh yeah, well we have to pay for schools, obviously, Social Security, college tuition, health care, personalized psychiatrists for every American, pollution removal technology, mandatory organic farms, obviously, and a panel to oversee the redistribution of the wealth from the 1% to the rest of us. So if we all just kind of agree to pay 90% of our wages into taxes, we'll be all set. It's fairly simple.
Only 90? What if I want to pay more?
Well, it's a free country. We all have free speech. First Amendment, right?
I can't even begin to tell you how much the First Amendment has absolutely nothing to do with taxes. At all. But we should carry on with the debate. Senator Blue, would you please tell us how you and your administration would fix the failing educational system?
That's simple. I would take all of the money we waste on wars and put them into our schools. Those kids need our support, and I will not leave a single non-adult behind, all right? And the teachers, too. They're heroes. The only heroes are Jesus, our troops, Walker, he's a Texas Ranger, Dale Earnhardt, Toby Keith, those Duck Dynasty fellows. And our educational system's fine because we only have to be able to count to one because that's what America is.
With that attitude, how could we not be? There's been a growing distrust amongst American citizens and their local police departments. What are your feelings on this issue, Governor Rhett?
All police are heroes.
But you just gave a detailed list of who the only heroes are, and they are not on it. If they are all heroes, then why is there a Black Lives Matter movement?
Look, I'm not going to stand here and deny that sometimes the police beat black people. It happens. Not a lot we can do about it, all right? Should it continue? Probably not. Is it wrong? Well, I suppose so, yeah. Of course it's wrong. Police should be monitored 24/7 with video surveillance equipment, audio equipment, GPS tracking, maybe a chip in their brain to monitor their thoughts. They should also have to undergo sensitivity training to learn how to relate better to people of color.
There's a world of difference between relating well to people of color and stomping them into the pavement.
More training toward minorities. More respect toward authority.
Dr. King would be so proud of you guys. Let's do a what if. What if you were president and we were attacked by a powerful foreign country? What would you do then? Last question. Who do you think is the greatest threat to America today? Well, great. Thank you for a truly insightful debate. I'm sure America has a very clear view of who they're going to vote for now. From LIW News, I'm Miguel Brambila.
Are you thinking, that debate sure was nothing but stereotypes? Yes it was. Because when you're unfamiliar with a group of people, all you really have to go on is a set list of stereotypes. That's how every red versus blue debate ends up being pussy versus hate, marijuana versus guns, heart versus heartless, rainbow versus Confederate, free money versus you're on your own, parental advisory versus don't tread on me. The red is seen as nothing but a political dick measuring contest, while the blue is just seen as a political vagina handing out beads. But all that really ends up being is just a giant political finger pointing contest. Just think about this for a moment. Are there really only two types of people? Does red versus blue really cover every American? Is it really that simple? Is there just no gray area? Because the stereotype for Democrats is they demand their individuality, but then they constantly label themselves and huddle under this giant blue umbrella. And the stereotype for Republicans is they want to be left alone to make their own decisions. But then every political decision they make goes against someone else's ability to make their own decisions. This isn't sports. This is politics. You don't have to pick a team and die with it. You're free to pick and choose what you believe. Here's the simple and unfunny truth about this entire thing. It doesn't matter what you believe. It really doesn't. People have a hard time accepting that truth, that you don't matter in this entire process. This causes most people to become incredibly selfish and tighten their grip on their beliefs. Follow blindly. Next thing you know, they're smashing the fat kid with a rock like in Lord of the Flies. The point is, we all have to work together. There has to be some sort of compromise. Otherwise, we're just engaged in this eternal tug-of-war match where nothing ever gets accomplished. It's kind of like two kids fighting over a toy in the backseat of a car. But the parents don't want to solve the problem because the parents are the only ones benefiting from this fight. Because while the kids are fighting over the one toy, they're stealing all the rest of their toys. This is why I'm pleased to announce my new political party. The Fence Party, and you're all invited to join. Both sides claim they want a better country and future, so fucking prove it. The Fence Party encourages choosing your beliefs based on logical decision making, not the ones chosen by your group, despite all claims and evidence to the contrary. Think marijuana should be legal, but also want less government spending? The Fence Party is for you. Want abortions banned, but also want women to have an actual alternative? The Fence Party is for you. Hate Jews, but also hate blacks? The Fence Party is probably not for you. You should probably just kill yourself. The best thing about the Fence Party is we can't be bought. The fence is already built, so corporations can't fund it. We don't have sponsors and we don't run ads. We don't have a shitty animal mascot either, just a beautiful gray picket fence, because life isn't black and white. The Fence Party doesn't argue and squabble pointlessly about everything either. The Fence Party has an actual party gathered around an actual fence where we exchange ideas because we all get along, even if we disagree. In the Fence Party, we sit on the fence and pick ideas on both sides that we choose to believe. Not because we're undecided pussies, but because we actually want shit fixed. And who knows, maybe we'll actually handle everything case by case, instead of lumping all of our problems into one little group to be handled in the exact same manner. Not everyone needs to be deported. Maybe this guy does. Not all drugs should be legal. Maybe these ones should be. Case by case. Doesn't that sound fucking refreshing? Choose your beliefs when you join the Fence Party.